Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is February 24th. It's 5:35 in the morning, and let's check out some pre-market action. So futures are green a little bit. I think the S&P futures ES is up 7 points right now. So what? That's about 0.2%. So not huge movement after hours, but still green. Green is green right now. Let's start out with Bitcoin prices for the day as it moved higher last night. So, SEC yesterday morning hit these lows down to 45K, got some movement after hours, rejected 49K again, sold off, but then we got a bounce through the level. Then we poked up here in the 41, basically 41.5, 41, or excuse me, not 41, 51.459. So trying to get to that 51.5 level, couldn't get through it. Both times it got into the 51.4s. Got big wicks, so sellers are sitting there at that level, pushing it lower. And then just here recently, in the last hour, tried 51.3 again, and now we're selling off, and now we're back down into the low 49s, poked down to 49.050. So we'll see how that movement affects our crypto stocks. I mean, that's still a pretty decent range today, and the crypto stocks have moved. The pre-market hours, that's the wrong page. Oh, so expanded. So as normal, first four in the middle, SOS, CAN, EBON, and Riot. So pre-market, right, we got all basically gapped up from yesterday. Big sell-offs down over like 20% for about each stock, basically. And got some, pretty good sized moves. So EBON hit up an 8, hit that 38 fib, fell back down. SOS has been kind of sideways, but still up above the 50 fib. CAN playing both sides with a 78.6 fib, and it's the top gainer of the day right now. And pre-market, it's up. Let me look real quick. It's one of them up there, up 14% right now. So could be a volatile day again, but I want to zoom in here on the dailies for them just to see. I think CAN is actually shaping up to be the best one, even though it's had the most volatile swings chart-wise. So as you see yesterday, we had this, the big sell-off down here, but we closed back above this 9-day moving average. So, you say trends intact. If you watch Steve Bigelow's videos, the candlestick forum, right, he talks about a T-line. He uses an 8-day or an 8-unit moving average. I like the 9. But, held back above. So this could be a nice upward play. But if we look at the other ones, the charts are going to look similar, but they're all closing below the 9. So you somewhat think for Riot to stay between these levels. I think pre-market, if we just go back and look real quick, right, so it's sitting at 55 right now. So 55.15 is at 9, so we might open right around that area and see if we can break through that area of resistance. EBON, kind of the same deal, but even more of a sell-off, sold all the way back down basically into this base, right? So we poked the base yesterday. Volume acts as a support, a lot of consolidation in this area over the last couple months. Buyers come in, push this thing higher, and then just, pre-market said it's sitting around this $8 level, so it could fill this gap already, and then look to get back above this 9. And then lastly, SOS, a little better than EBON, obviously, very similar to Riot, sitting in between the two. And what was it at right now? So 8.94. So it's back above this 9 moving average. So we could get this curl back up if we get some Bitcoin upward momentum, if it can hold this 49K area where there is a lot of resistance from yesterday where it poked off. Couldn't get above that level yesterday. So there's volume in that area that could prop up Bitcoin. Electric vehicle plays, let's just look at them generally real quick, and then we'll get into Workhorse. And then Fisker had news. Oops, I put Tesla twice. Need some more coffee. Lee, and then come on, the XPEV. So kind of sideways, but everything's basically green in the pre-market hours here. So could get some movement back up. XPEV looks like it might be selling off right now. Maybe use this 200 as a area of support. Tesla broke through it. It's 50-50, so kind of getting a downtrend right now. I think it's just kind of moving with the market. Says, top left here, futures about 5 a.m. started selling off. So the last 30 minutes has been, kind of a downtrend for the overall market. The news came out for it. Just talking about Tesla specifically, but if we go to Workhorse, right? So they had big news that they did not get that contract yesterday. So orange lines were areas of consolidation, right? So we had this basically upward pennant kind of pattern going through, broke through that at the end of January, set new highs, and then came back in through this last week. Into the week last week, came under the moving averages, and then break of the news, sold off really hard, pinged off basically this $12 area, which is kind of surprising because there's not a lot of volume right here. I mean, this one day had a ton of volume, 128 million, but basically came back and closed here in where a lot of volume is consolidated for consecutive days. And if we go back to just the daily to see how it's moved, right? So news came out right at noon yesterday, hour before the close, takes it down to 12.5. Now we're kind of doing this just slow rollover fade all day. I think if this wants to get some bullish momentum, we got to break this after hours high right here. So 1738, basically this 38 fib, 1725. So somewhere in that range, if this gets upward momentum, it needs to break that to get a big pushback up. But even if it does, say we're at 15 right now, 17.25, that's over a 10% move. So that could be, great scalping opportunities. Either way, as long as you're in and out pretty quickly. But I think with the company itself, if it doesn't get new contracts, it could be dead in the water for a while. And then surprisingly, so Ride, in my last video, I said they had a bid, but Ride is actually has 10% ownership from Workhorse, but it's actually up this morning. So we'll see how it moves, see if it fades with Workhorse during the day. And then the electric vehicle company that had the news today was Fisker. So if we go to their daily, I talked about them in the EV video this weekend that I made, kind of similar. So been selling off just like last week with all the other electric vehicles. Yeah, and then, right, so poked right back down into all this volume right here. Gets up higher. So news came out that they are partnering with Foxconn, which is, I think, a Chinese company. Where is that one at? Yeah, so Hanhai Technology Group, Foxconn, to build a breakthrough electric vehicle. No terms disclosed, so kind of a hype, pumpish type PR, but it did set the price up to new highs. I think so previous high here in the area, so 23.6 is this high, but higher than this 20.5 area. So if we go back to the 5-minute, right, so poke 21, still looking like we're getting some upward momentum here in pre-market if it holds this 1975 area, right, then right here in the 20 and 22. So this could be a good mover today, and then hopefully breaks the electric vehicles out of this downtrend if it can, decouple from the overall market. And then lastly, a kind of a low flow stock that's moving right now, and it's actually up on a tear. Jesus. So SYPR, Sypris Solutions. So they got a defense contract for electric modules for precision guided anti-ship missiles. So CPS. So the ticker was CPSH, but CPS Technologies a couple weeks ago had a big move off of aircraft carrier armor. So I mean, defense industry is going to be, could be a hot sector, especially this low float, as the Biden administration did award a ton of contracts for defense. Lockheed Martin, Raytheon got a huge piece of, I think that one was like a $280 million contract. So defense spending is going to be picking up, and these companies are going to be cashing in on it. So if we go look long term, had to go out to 20-year on this one, how far back it went, but been basically beat down since 2004, Iraq War, surprising. But when I first looked at this, it was sitting around this $5 area, right? So we had the 38 from the, the swing high to swing low, and then from the long term, that's basically the 78 level. And then right now it's squeezing up into the sixes, right? Where we at 6.32. So if we go all the way back out there, 6.32, don't have much there besides, you know, the $6 level here, and we got a high 6.5, so another 6.2. So there is some consolidation in that 6 level. See if we can break above 6.5, then move up to the 7.6 area if we get some momentum. Let me check to see how heavily shorted it is. Not shorted at all, but only 11 million shares float, so this thing could be moving today. So that's what I'm looking at this morning. Let me know what you guys are looking at in the comments. And as always, I appreciate a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.